Overthinking feels like solving a problem, but sometimes it is only spinning the same load again. Picture a laundromat late at night. The lights are too bright. The chairs are uncomfortable. There is one machine in the corner that keeps turning, again and again, even though the clothes inside already look clean. Nothing new is happening. The same shirt rises, falls, disappears, comes back. The machine is moving, but the work is finished. That is what a tired mind can feel like. You leave a conversation, you get through the day, you make it home, and then, when the room finally gets quiet, one sentence comes back. Not the whole day, not the important parts, just one sentence. The way you said it, the way they looked after you said it, the pause before they answered. So you pick it up again, you turn it around, you replay it, you try a different version, you imagine what they might have thought, you imagine what you should have said, you imagine what you will say if it ever comes up again, even though it probably never will. From the outside, you are resting. Inside, the machine is still running. This is why overthinking is so exhausting. It does not always feel like panic. Sometimes it feels like responsibility. It feels like you are being careful. It feels like you are protecting yourself from making the same mistake again. It feels like if you review the moment one more time, maybe you will finally find the answer that lets you relax. But a thought becomes heavier when you keep picking it up to check if it has changed, and that is the trap. Some thinking helps you learn. Some thinking helps you repair something. Some thinking helps you make a better decision tomorrow. But some thinking only repeats the emotional weight of a moment without giving you anything new to do. That is the spin cycle. The spin cycle is not your mind being stupid. It is your mind trying to finish something that feels unfinished. A look, a message, a mistake, a silence, a possible future, a version of yourself you wish had acted differently. The problem is that your mind treats unfinished feelings like unfinished tasks. If the feeling is still there, it assumes there must be more work to do. So it keeps turning the same material, hoping the emotion will wash out. But emotions do not always leave because you analyze them harder. Sometimes they leave when your mind learns there is no next action to take right now. Here is the difference. Processing moves, replaying circles. Processing asks, what did I learn? Replaying asks, why did I do that? Again and again, with no new answer. Processing leads to an action, an apology, a boundary, a note, a decision, a change. Replaying leads back to the beginning of the same scene. You can feel the difference in your body. Processing may be uncomfortable, but it becomes clearer. Replaying becomes tighter, smaller, more urgent. The world shrinks until the only thing that feels real is that one moment your mind will not release. One reason this happens is because overthinking usually has an audience, not a real audience. An imagined one. You are not only remembering what happened, you are performing the memory for invisible judges. What did they think of me? Did I sound strange? Did I look weak? Did I reveal too much? Did I disappoint them? Did they notice? This is why one small moment can grow so large in your mind. You are not just carrying the event, you are carrying the courtroom you built around it. And most of the time, the other person is not even in that courtroom. They have gone home, they have eaten dinner, they have forgotten the exact sentence, but in your mind, the trial is still going. That is why the first step is not to force the thought away. Forcing it away often makes it louder. The first step is to name the load. Ask yourself, what is my mind actually spinning right now? Not in a dramatic way, not as a life sentence. Just name it plainly. I am replaying that comment from lunch. I am imagining tomorrow going badly. I am rehearsing a conversation that has not happened. I am trying to prove I was not foolish. When you name the load, the machine becomes less mysterious. You are no longer inside a storm of everything. You are looking at one basket of thought. The second step is to check for a next action. This is where the loop begins to weaken. Ask, is there one real thing I can do about this now? If you hurt someone, maybe the next action is to apologize. If you forgot something, maybe the next action is to write it down. If you are worried about a task, maybe the next action is to prepare one small part. If there is a real action, take it or schedule it. But if there is no action, be honest about that too. No action means the thought is not asking for more analysis. It is asking for permission to stop being treated like an emergency. The third step is to remove the audience. This part matters because many loops are powered by imaginary witnesses. You are not only asking, what happened? You are asking, what does this prove about me in everyone else's eyes? Try changing the question. Instead of, how did I look? Ask, what actually happened? Instead of, what do they think of me? Ask, what evidence do I really have? Instead of, how do I erase this feeling? Ask, what would I tell someone I cared about if they were stuck on this same moment? That last question is powerful because overthinking often speaks to you in a tone you would never use with another person. You would not keep someone you love awake all night over one awkward sentence. You would not make them replay a mistake until they felt smaller. You would probably say, it happened, learn what you can, you are allowed to put it down now. The fourth step is to return to one physical signal, not because the body is magic, because the loop lives in abstraction. It lives in maybe, what if, should have, could have, what do they think, what if tomorrow goes wrong? A physical signal brings the mind back to something that is not imaginary. Feel the floor under your feet. Hold a cold glass of water. Fold one shirt slowly. Wash one dish. Step outside and notice the air on your face. Give your mind one real thing that does not need to be solved. This is not avoidance. Avoidance is refusing to face your life. Returning to the present is refusing to let an imaginary version of your life consume the real one. The hardest part is that overthinking often wears the costume of responsibility. It tells you, I am only doing this because I care. I am only reviewing this because I want to improve. I am only imagining every outcome because I want to be prepared. And sometimes that is true. Caring people reflect. Responsible people learn. Sensitive people notice details. None of that is wrong, but there is a point where reflection stops being a teacher and becomes a machine that forgot to turn off. You do not need to hate that machine. It probably started running because some part of you wanted to stay safe, liked, prepared, or in control. The goal is not to shame your mind for trying to protect you. The goal is to teach it that not every feeling requires another cycle. So tonight, or the next time your mind starts replaying something, do not begin by fighting it. Begin by stepping beside it. Name the load. Check for a next action. Remove the audience. Return to one physical signal. That is the spin cycle exit. And maybe the first sign of a rebuilt mind is not that you never overthink again. Maybe it is the moment you notice the machine turning and realize you do not have to sit there all night watching it. If this video helped you understand your mind a little more clearly, like the video and subscribe to Mind Rebuilt for more practical videos on focus, emotional control, overthinking, and rebuilding your life one pattern at a time. And if you want, comment one thought your mind keeps replaying that you are ready to put down.